Dear friends, it is time for me to return to the inimitable, the ineffable, the one, the only, the enigmatic, the font of knowledge, Mr. Bob Kudla. By the way, Bob, if for some reason I lose you, it is because of a drone attack, which threatens me and the East Coast as we speak. These gamma radiation seeking drones. But I digress. May I ask you a question? Bitcoin. Everybody is going crazy about Bitcoin. What should we know about it? What can you do to help us?
Well, it's funny. Speaking of gamma, there's gamma radiation detectors in those drones, but there's also gamma derivative moves in the stock market right now. And so gamma is a second order event on the price of a stock that causes acceleration. And right now, as the minute we spoke here, Bitcoin just hit an all-time high. And so, the best way for people to understand why Bitcoin's doing what Bitcoin's doing is that Bitcoin is considered the ultimate store of value, right? That is convenient, international, and it protects you against the currency destructions that are happening in the fiat world. And so that's why Bitcoin continues to rise. In fact, since its inception, from 2011 on, it's beaten any other asset out there. And it's already up 100 and some percent again this year. Is because the belief is that we're reaching the end of the fiat super cycle here, and that people want to get the off ramp, before it gets blown up.
Can I ask you?
People go ahead.
No. I'm going to ask you the questions that I was recently with some very sophisticated people. One who is a surgeon who saves people's lives couldn't tell you the first thing about Bitcoin. First question is there any, Bob Kudla, is there any chance Bitcoin could one day just be wiped out, hacked into, destroyed, shell, whatever? Does it have any risk at all? Yes or no?
Of course, everything has risk, but the risks that have been enunciated so far are difficult to do, right? So the big risk is that gamma computing can go in there and hack the chain and
Right.
steal all the coins, but the amount of energy that's required to be able to take a 51% dominant position in the node is astronomical. People will see it happening. Number two is, can governments confiscate your coins? They can do it on an individual basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
But remember, Bitcoin is like quantum mechanics, right? It's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So literally, you can walk through a customs agent and I have nothing to declare in terms of assets.
Right.
You walk into the next coffee shop and your assets are sitting in the coffee shop. So, so that argument's out the door. The other argument is that there's no value to it. Well, it has the same value as the reason why people buy art, people buy seafront property, people buy areas that have, limited development potential. It's scarce. And so those are all. And the other thing people like Bitcoin is that it's convenient. Like, if we want to trade with China, right, and they wouldn't take dollars anymore, and we wouldn't take yuan anymore, is that what would you trade in? Would you trade in Bitcoin or gold? Well, you trade in Bitcoin because, the Bitcoins will move. Gold, you have to trust that the gold's going to leave your vault, get on a boat or an airplane, and safely make it to the other area, where Bitcoin's immediate, and you can create what's called multi-signature escrow environments where certain things have to be agreed to and the transaction happens, yada, yada, yada. So
I read something.
Can something happen? Sure.
My next question is, I heard somebody suggest that if you have, most people have Bitcoin like Coinbase or Coin Wallet or whatever, that's not safe. And I forget, watching somebody recently. What's the best way to hold it? If you're just you buy some stuff and you is that safe?
I personally I prefer trading the Bitcoin derivatives, meaning I rather own Coinbase than have my Bitcoin at Coinbase. Okay. I rather own MicroStrategy than own Bitcoin because I'm getting leverage to Bitcoin, right?
Okay, now This
You
is
know,
this.
MicroStrategy is up a multiple of the price of Bitcoin. You know, now look, I don't want to get the true believers all mad at me, but that's a personal choice. But if somebody's up 150% and I'm up 450%, I think I made the better deal, right?
Again,
At some point, those things will even out, and then you can own it as a store of value. But you can also, you know, eventually you're going to see pools, right? 50, 100 people get together and they what's called multi-signature escrow. Those kind of things will happen. When you want to own Bitcoin, but there's a lot of ways to make money in Bitcoin right now. You can buy the Bitcoin miner.
That's the point I want to talk about. First of all, by the way, you mentioned quantum. Have you read about recently? I think it's Willow, the quantum computer that that there was a particular problem or some type of an equation which would take regular super fast computers 10 septillion years to calculate, and it did it in 5 minutes. That's one of those moments.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing that, but by the time, but there's a lot of energy that goes into that.
Yes.
And so if somebody has that computer,
yes,
there a lot of energy is going in to make that calculation, right?
Right.
And I don't know how many digits, to crack the encryption on Bitcoin is, but it's probably more than that. And remember, in the Bitcoin, the confirmations are less than 5 minutes. So it's going to have to be a really fast computer.
I was just throwing that out. That's just a meaningless.
No, that's Google. That's Google. But quantum chips are coming, and these Bitcoin miners will all own the quantum chips. So so it's just going to be it's you take that off the worry list for the next year.
Now let me ask you this question. We talk Bitcoin. Let's assume I'm saying Bob Kudla, tradewithlionel.com, 800-949-1408. Listen, and I tell people all the time, I mentioned this the other day. I said, and I gave him your number. I said, call him. I've got X amount of money, whatever it is. I don't know the first thing about it. Is it too late? Number one. Number two, we always talk about Bitcoin. What about crypto in general? There are others as well. How do I know I want to be a part of this? Number one, is it too late? Has that train left the station? The crypto or Bitcoin train?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You are getting late in this cycle, sure. We have a target for this year at 120,000. We're at 106,000 now. We put that target out when Bitcoin was at 60,000. So, but the next 2 to 3 weeks you can make a lot of money. As it hits that. Yeah, and Bitcoin will pull back, and then there'll be another cycle that's going to probably be even bigger than this one. But it ebbs and flows. It's very volatile. But look, you don't have to worry about that so much. Bitcoin's just an asset, like everything else. So we're already looking beyond into January. Tech stocks are already starting to roll over. There's ways in which you can short tech to make money. There's high yield products out there that are really, really good, that you actually high yield products that actually are betting on the short side. So there's a lot of ways to make money other than, buying Bitcoin, if you will. Okay. Not that I'm not disparaging Bitcoin. I'm just saying,
not saying you are.
94% of the world doesn't have Bitcoin. So there's other trades out there for people that aren't interested in Bitcoin that you can make a lot of money, especially if the market starts to roll over like we think. Remember, volatility is our friend at Trade Genius. So, we want the market simply to move, and we can make money off those moves.
Now, a couple of things here. First of all, I want in case you've just watched me now for the first time with Bob, I want you to listen to me. This is the guy I trust. You see how he is right now? You see this? He's like this all the time. He's calm. You're like this methodical, like this evil genius of finance. You never look. You're just like whatever happens. And that's the thing. If it's up, if it's down, you react accordingly. So if somebody were to call up and say, all right, I've been watching this. I want to call 800-949-1408. Mention Lionel because there's deals aplenty. What are you going to do for me? Bob, I'm scared. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about trading. I want to work with you. I watch your videos with Lionel. I want to be a part of this. Now's the time. I got to do something. Trump's president. Things are looking great. Everybody's going to Mar-a-Lago and kissing his ring and other orifices. This is the most incredible. Google's there. Everybody. It's a brand new world. I want to be a part of it. What can I do? What would you recommend?
Well, I mean, our services. Look, we've created some pretty effective algorithms that follow, momentum and price action that puts you in a high probability for profit for trade. So the first thing that we do is we get you set up, and then we put trades out every day. So as you're learning the system, you can just take the trades that we're throwing out there as ideas, and those trades for the most part are profitable on a consistent basis. So we have a track record. We win almost 7 out of 10 trades now, and those trades are profitable in aggregate. And at the same time, then we give you access to the algorithm so that you can pick and choose and buy the stuff that you want to buy. And we teach you how to use that algorithm. And then you have a chat room where you come in and you can talk and ask questions, just like you and I are talking. Or you can get in a chat room that's a typing chat room, depending on what level you want to buy into.
Right.
And you're good to go. The next day, you're hitting the ground running. And I say usually 3 to 4 months, people are pretty connected into the system and the trades and our thought processes, and then you're good to go.
Now you mentioned Bitcoin, and you mentioned about different ways to do it. If I want to jump in that, if I want to go immediately into Bitcoin, because most people, it's so funny, people just start buying and loading it up. I'm thinking this does not seem to be the wisest, most surgically sound way to do it. But if I want to do that immediately and I want to sign up, can I start immediately? Can you direct me to a crypto Bitcoin area, and then maybe I want to go into tech stocks? Do I get?
I mean, yeah. Look, you have 2 choices. You can open up a Gemini wallet, or a Coinbase wallet or a Kraken wallet, and then you can take your cash and buy Bitcoin with it, and they'll hold it for you. Or you can go into the stock market and buy BITO or YBIT, or I think YBTC, and those are ETFs that hold Bitcoin and custodian, and you can buy into it that way too. So you have those choices to get in, and the ETFs you can get in the day you have the money in the brokerage account with crypto brokers that you may have to take a week, for them to know. They want to know who you are, right? The KYC, and then then they're going to validate your funds are good and collect it. So it could be a week or 2 before you can actually buy crypto if you don't already have a wallet already established with one of the crypto houses.
So, and also this is, let me let people know this. You're not Jim Cramer. You're not one of those shows. You don't push a stock. You provide
I push a process. Right.
Process. Yes. So you're
not look, I don't. I'm an anti Jim Cramer because we actually make people money. So we just push a process. Stocks are stocks. To me, they're just instruments of wealth building. I shouldn't say that. There's one stock that we own that my family owns intergenerationally, and I'm sure my daughter will inherit it. But other than that, everything else is a trade for me.
Now, another thing too, which is important to grasp, is that this is at any level, depending upon however somebody wants to get in, and it is the best means to enter the process, which I like, and not necessarily be confused. It's tutorial. It allows you to make the decision. You just facilitate the process, so to speak. That's it. And that's what's been so great about you. And whatever it is, whether it's, is there anything you don't involve in, metals or do you cover?
We're stocking crypto, guys. We give some futures information out on the ES, which is the derivative of the S&P 500, but we're not that. We don't really trade penny stocks, and we don't usually chase the theme stocks unless you get it run. Like right now, Bitcoin is a theme that we are trading because that's where the market's moving. But I won't chase GameStop, for example.
Right.
So we try to tend to be more conservative
Right.
than risk oriented. I'm sure I can beef up my portfolio results for the service by just chasing penny stocks all day long, but you know it's a lot of work for very little money, and it's a lot of risk if you're wrong. So we tend to stay with bigger, well-known names and trade those, and just grind your way to wealth over time.
Last question is how important is it that President Trump won?
Oh, I can't even imagine what the world would look like if he lost. So
That's
I think that's the easiest way
exactly
of
the
putting
way
it.
I feel. Can you imagine if
It
you
would be a
woke up
disaster.
and you heard President Kamala Harris? Just say that. Say that. What would you do? What would
I don't know. The country would be lost, and I don't think I can overstate that.
well,
It'd be horrible.
the good news is I think uh, common sense prevailed. Please pray for us on the East Coast. We have drones everywhere. It's the wildest, Bob. It's incredible, and I think
Well,
we know.
they're radiation detecting drones. You know that, right? Yeah.
Yes,
So they're tracking down somebody moving nuclear material around. So
that is
they'll catch them.
precisely. That's precisely right. Well, Bob Kudla, again, tradewithlionel.com, tradewithlionel.com, or if somebody calls 800-949-1408, what should they do to make sure that I am notified to get all the Lionel deals and all of the
Yeah. So if they come directly to us, they just have to mention Trade with Lionel or heard it from Lionel show, and then we attach credit to that, and then
excellent.
that's how we support Lionel's show. So it's a
Beautiful.
three-way win. I win, you win, Lionel wins. So let's get going here and make some money.
Excellent. Bob Kudla, thank you so much, my friend. Listen, if I'm sure I won't see you, I don't think, but Merry Christmas to you and your family. Happy New Year. We will speak again. All the best, and thank you so much for your advice and your counsel and your direction. You are an asset to the human race. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Too kind. Merry Christmas to you too. Bye bye.
Indeed, sir.